It all started 1 year ago when F-099 was released. We were all new to the game and battling to see who could be the fastest player, trying out all the machines, see what's best fit for us. And at the time, the premier player was Lunaire using the Golden Fox. So in this video, we're going to go over to see if how much the meta has changed and what it takes to now be the fastest racer. Alright, first things first, we got to go over the ice turn. So let's see how that looks. And that would be the good ice turn. And here's a comparison of what happens if you don't do it properly. You get stuck on the dirt there, and now you can see how far the Ghost gets ahead just on that one turn. And then you get to watch him the rest of the race in front of you. And what makes it a good cup, besides just being a little closer to the wall? Well, you're actually in the wall, so you're not touching the dirt. And if you boost while touching the dirt, it has that weird stutter where your boost doesn't really give you the momentum when you start it. So it makes a big difference. And then you don't get hung up. And you also kind of have to boost, trying to go parallel to the dirt as much as you can when you get outside to have the cleanest line. Otherwise, if you just drive straight through the barrier and you don't make that sharp turn to the left, you'll lose time by just driving wide as well. So this one is pretty good. And right after the ice turn is the shortcut jump, so let's see how that plays out. I jumped too far, got the UFO. Let's try again. Still too far. Let's try jumping higher up on the road. So even higher up, still got the UFO. So what's going on here? There it is, a little further back and it counted. So let's try for a better one. There it is. So that was the perfect landing. And let's see how exactly why that is. Let's take a look at this map I drew up. So let's go over the numbering system. So starting at the elbow is 1, 2, 3. So those are the black lines, and the third line is the boundary line. And I drew a line extending that to the opposite end of the track. So this is where it kind of gets distorted. So if you notice in the UFO ones where I was jumping all the way at the top of the track but I was still getting the UFO, it's because I was actually landing after that line into the purple zone. So you can see there's the shades of purple. The lighter purple after number 3 is kind of what you want to eyeball and jump into. And it's really easy to get distorted when you're jumping to lower to higher and thinking you're not jumping over that line. So you really want to make sure you're landing in the lighter color. And you can see the last jump I did was in the lower end of the light purple, and that's pretty much where you want to land. And how will this play out in real time? Let's watch a Fox vs. Fox match here. UFO for me and not Misa. What happened? Looks like Misa's ahead of me, but I got the UFO. So let's take a look at frame by frame and see what exactly happened here. See if I could, who's landing in the light pink zone here. Misa just landed, but I haven't landed. And there it is, the last frame. I went over the boundary. So UFO for me, and Misa gets to hear me warp away and never see me again. let's take a look at the Skyways. That didn't work. Let's try again. Still no. So when using Skyways, and this applies to pretty much every situation, you don't want to launch your Skyway when you're falling back down from the road like that. A lot of times it'll have trouble connecting you back to the Skyway and you lose a lot of time. So let's try launching it deeper. Still no. I'm gonna go really deep. And that's a big no, sends me all the way back. And there's the perfect Skyway. You got the little hover, got the zipper, and you can take this thing all the way to the refiller. So let's take a look at the good one again. So you're pretty much launching that at the height of your jump and angling towards that, you know, going forward over there. And I don't hit the zipper all the time. Sometimes I kind of launch it a little too early or a little off, and I won't always hit the zipper like that, but that's what it looks like when it's the perfect Skyway, and that really cuts a lot of time. I'm going to stay on Fox for the moment and go over what you have to do with Fox to win on Whiteland 1. So this race was actually one of the motivating races that made me want to make a full elaborate video on this course. You'll see why. So here it's me versus Natoa. He was able to cut me off already. I just took a slightly wide line in the opener, and that's all it takes. I slightly went wide there, and I lost a position to another Fox. See, that's what I'm talking about, going a little wide out of that turn right there, so I should be able to cut a little more parallel to the ice there. And even though I bottomed out, it actually helped me a little bit because that Fox in front of me got a really bad bumper pattern and I was able to cut in the inside. But still, sometimes with my joystick, I just don't always hold down strong enough. Natoa actually hitting a red. And the race is just starting to fall apart, starting the fourth lap here. And after that gray hit, there's no hope of another boost. And the blue just finishes me off. No desperation finish to even attempt being able to qualify for that. So I want to kind of start over again in the fourth lap here. That's where everything fell apart. So right here in the fourth lap, I slowed down actually. You can see I'm already in the 300s. So I was trying to get more energy. But this ended up backfiring on me. So now I'm just getting cluster bumped. I'm getting chip damage. And really, I asked Natoa about this situation, what he would have done, and he was just like, you gotta drive through the refiller, and just because of if you slow down, you get more aggressive hits on you and more random stuff can happen to you. I should just cut the first boost out. And it just kind of, things just kind of unraveled, and you know, sometimes that's all it takes is just a small error turns into a chain of errors, and then you just rank out. So you can see here on the end of the clock, it was right there, like it's just at 2:01, but it wasn't fast enough to qualify for the next race on this. So let's take a look at what a better Fox run will look like. Everything looking really good. Really good cut through the bumpers there. He's keeping his shortcuts pretty tight. One thing I messed up on a couple of laps on my race is, and it kind of happens more so with the joystick players, is your jump cuts can go a little wide with using the stick. Smart play avoiding the bumper there. And with a successful race, you get gifted a free KO. Let's see what the total time of that race is. There it is, a 1:57.51. So that's actually personally the fastest time I've seen. You can see even this in this elite lobby, that was enough to beat everyone out by a good margin. And as you can see before, how the times go, like you usually have to get in these good lobbies at least like a low 2:02 or under to survive these races. So Whiteland 1 is really tough. And so is Fox overpowered on Whiteland 1? Fox, I would say, is actually still the best on Whiteland 1, but it also requires you to play that well. You're not making any mistakes, and your energy management has to be perfect. Like you can't be taking any damage at all, or you lose a boost, and then you get people piled on you, like what happened to me. And, you know, he almost got taken out at the blues at the end. So if those would have touched him, who knows what could have happened. They could have knocked him into a red, into a wall, and that could have been the end of his race. So, like, even though Misa dominated this race and got a 1:57, like, you're just not going to see other players doing that. It'd just be, like, essentially Misa and the Toa. And there's some other good Foxes, but really there's just a few Foxes out there, so I wouldn't say Fox is being the best at this course with a really good race like this is really something that even you have to worry about. So let's take a look at the Goose perspective. This is actually the same race as where Misa. I just had the 1:57, but I was playing Goose. And I actually saved my boost there because I wanted to kind of sandbag and pick up more sparks. And with Goose, it's there is energy management issues on this course. I'm in really good shape now. Unfortunately, that was a tough pattern to get stuck there, so I lost a bit of time there. Skyway could have been a little sharper. So I got zipper to zipper, so still good. Now I have a ton of energy, so I can pretty much do whatever I want the rest of the race. I wasn't going to try cut left of that red bumper on the jump pad. We all know what happens when you try that. So that's what Goose will look like. And let's see what that time was. So even with kind of making errors along the way and not taking the sharpest turns, not really doing the ice cut properly, at least with Goose you won't lose as much speed. But you know, I didn't really take that turn super risky because I didn't want to do a wall bonk. In that one lap I kind of drifted backwards. So even with all that happening, because I got a good Skyway on the third lap, I was still able to get sub 2 with Goose, and that would, you know, it's a pretty overall good race, and you know, you take fourth any day in these type of lobbies, so that's pretty much what you have to do with Goose. And if you get stuck more at the back of the pack at the race, you get first lap Skyways and end up getting a first and fourth lap Skyway, and that's really powerful too. I also wanted to show a bad example of Goose, so let's see what happens when things go wrong. Get a little stuck there. And that's the end of the race. If that happens to you in these lobbies, you're pretty much done. And this is actually another example of a decent Skyway. If you get a late one and you don't want to hold your Skyway, you can still get zipper to zipper if you cut around the corner. I have low energy now. I'm getting behind. Everyone's going to be skywaying over me. And that's the end. So at the beginning here, let's go over the jumps. What can easily happen is you get back bump and you fly further than you want. You know, also happens in Red Canyon 1 where someone just pushes you a little further and you miss the mark, and then you just all the bad things happen. And in a tight race like this, where if you make an error like that and you have to recover with a boost and you get knocked back and lose time, that's more than enough to pretty much cement you out of the race. Now let's see what it takes to win with Falcon. Really solid first lap. Really good cut. Fox gets this extra boost there, the Falcon doesn't. And into the red for Misa. Get crowded on that shortcut jump there, and you see the Misa after taking damage can't boost there. So the Falcon gets to take it. Let's see what the total time is. So Falcon gets to also be sub 2 minute there. So Falcon can front run. Falcon's just slightly slower than Fox though. As if when I was seeing, you know, the best Falcon runs, I guess you could probably get 158. I mean, he took a lot of kind of fighting there and some unoptimal lines, so 158 should be doable. Like I said before, the 157.5 is just the lowest I've seen, just because in an online race, you know, you're just not going to get really much opportunities to have a perfectly clean race with just all the stuff going on. And if you have other great players, they're going to, like this, how was a Misa fight like the whole way, and then that Stingray came at the end, so, and there's blues all dropping all over, so you just don't get the lines you want. So Falcon's just a good front running machine, and definitely a front run competitor versus Fox. And going into the last machine, let's take a look at the Stingray run. So this is during the festival, and this one has a different opener. The zipper opener is a few seconds actually longer than the mine opener. So you can see here, he's just passing the line at 18 seconds. The other one, you can pass at like 14, 15 seconds. And there's the first lap, Skyway. And Daizen's the master of Skyways, so he's able to get that hover over the zipper. And now look where he's at with Stingray. Perfect place. Some bumper patterns can be tough, so doing that little wall trick there would be really helpful to avoid those reds. This is a tough boost to get out of the Stingray with its turn radius, so it's a good escape. And that's what you can do with Stingray. you get such a powerful first lap Skyway, which isn't always going to happen. It gets real bad for Stingray if you can't escape the pack. That's my biggest problem using Stingray. And you can see the times here. Everyone's got slower times, like I said in the beginning. That opener just takes a few seconds longer. So Daizen would have definitely had a sub 2 time. So getting that first lap, starting a little behind and getting all the sparks for the first lap Skyway really paid off because he was able to play clean enough to do a front run and have no one pretty much catch him. He was able to pass everyone that was able to Skyway over him pretty easily and just be able to front run the rest of the way with just a clean gameplay. So that's what you can do with Stingray. Essentially, don't get caught in the pack, which is easier said than done. Because if you get caught in the pack all 4 laps with Stingray, your lines are going to be wrecked the whole way through. The turns with all the geese spinning into you, it's just not going to go well. So you really got to utilize on getting good Skyways. That hover and the optimum Skyway there is a real game changer. It saves a good amount of time. It shot them all the way up to the front. So that's what you can do. All 4 machines are viable on this course. It's a really great course, one of my favorites. And it's hard to say if it's balanced or not. They're just I'll just say all the machines are viable, and just some machines are more difficult than others to have a good race.